Welcome to Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for Camp Wanderlust. Please welcome to the stage your host, Spencer Sellens.
Stab Comedy Club, how are we feeling? Yes, I asked, how are we feeling? Yeah, good. I like the one person who asked, I am feeling good. Excellent, thank you. Hand claps, perfect. Welcome to Camp Wanderlust, everybody. Welcome. This is a storytelling show featuring some of my favorite and the best comics in the local area. I'm excited. My story today is going to be okay. Question before I start my story: has anyone ever had to do like a urine drug screening, a piss test for a new job? Anyone? Yes. Okay, so you guys are well aware of how this works. All right, so you get the job, you get the interview, you did great, and you gotta go to like this business and like go pee in a cup at some like mini mall, outlet mall somewhere. So I wasn't gonna pass this test, like no matter how long I had to stop before this test, I was pissing dirty no matter what, all right? So I have to improvise. What do? I had no siblings to steal their pee. I had to go. I was working an internship at a time. I found this other kid, like, hey, buddy, do you want me to buy you lunch? And he's like, sure. Well, okay, it comes with a catch. Comes a little bit of a catch. So I need you, buddy, to pee in this cup for me, okay? So we went to the pizza place, which is like right next door to the urinalysis business, whatever the hell it's called. And so we have a delicious pizza lunch buffet. Yes, of course, lunch. It was delicious. I treat my friends well. I treat them well. You know, but after lunch, we got down to business, so to speak. So we go to the bathroom, and I had a like a Whizzinator thing, which is like the fake pee and the stuff that you put in there. But I had read like horror stories online of people using fake pee and then obviously being caught. Like, sir, this is carrot juice. What are you doing? I don't understand how you thought this would. It's orange. Like, we thought at best you're like terribly dehydrated, sir. At best. No, but so I was a little scared to use a fake pee, so I'd get some real pee in there. So I had the guy. It's like this particular one was like a little baggie, so to speak, basically. Like it was like it was better than a Ziploc. I guess we'll call that better than a Ziploc. And so, all right. So my buddy fills up his better than a Ziploc with better than my piss, and it was great. It was lovely. It was warm, and I had. Yes, because that matters. Because like you can't just put cold pee-pee in there; they're gonna realize it. Okay, that's how you separate the idiots from the pee-pee chumps. All right. No, so I get it in the bag, and I gotta keep it warm. I mean, it's not like a big gap in between this and my appointment. And so, what's the best way to keep this pee-pee at body temperature? Well, lift and tuck. So basically. Lift up the sack. Underneath it goes this like bag of piss, someone else's piss, and I'm kind of like hobbling like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins like over to the piss clinic, just trying to like not pop this thing. And I get in there, and I'm like literally, because like thank God I got these thunder thighs, so I'm able to just kind of like I can kind of differentiate like how much like pressure, like do I want to go like full pop in the watermelon kind of like thigh pressure, or just keeping that sack under the sack. All right, that's how skilled I am, people. No, but so I got a little bit too excited, so I just showbiz myself, didn't I? Oh well. So I'm a little excited. And I sit in the chair. I check in like, "Hi, Spencer. I'm here to do the pee-pee test. I'm excited. We're all ready for a gay old time. It's gonna be great." So I check in, I sign in, and I go to sit down, and I go to sit like in the waiting chair, and I'm just bored. Like, sir, you got about like 10, 15 minutes, so you can just, chill. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to like grab my phone in my pocket. Oh, there's just like this giant wet patch all over my. I peed my pants with someone else's piss. All right? Do you guys not see how traumatized I was by this? God. And so I have to do like remember like in the 90s where like every cool rich kid tied their sweater behind their back, they tied it in the front. Well, I had to like do the reverse thing, so I like tied like this apron, like my jacket in front of me, so they just didn't see this giant pee-pee patch. Because there was still some left, okay? I was able to tell, like, it was still, I needed the job, okay? I was working at Red Robin and working a free internship, all right? Doesn't pay the bills. You can only eat out of the garbage can so much for fun, eventually, anyway. So, I needed this job. So, I get in there. There's just enough in there to, like, get to, like, the top line of, like, here's the minimum amount of piss that you need in order to, like, not do a retest. I'm not doing a retest. Like, I'm ready to just start scooping water out of the toilet if I can just get enough liquid. Like... And it was just like I was ready to start wringing out my underwear like into this thing. Like I needed this job, okay? I did get the job. Yes, exactly, yes. I did get the job because you know what? Cheaters always prosper if you get away with it, people, all right? Cheers to cheating. Cheers to cheating, yeah. All right, I'm still trying to figure out how to end that story. I think I should end it with I peed my pants with someone else's piss. Oh, well, working on it. Anyway, all right, you guys, this was fun. I have a contest, if you will. If one person comes and sits in the front row, I will give them $1. Fuck yes! Hell yes! My fucking man. There you go, sir. Hell yeah. $1 hot. Look, you chumps in the back missing out. Could have got $1. Oh, well. All right. Anyway. No. That is a PP free dollar, people. Okay? PP free. PPFP. PP free dollar, people. Anyway, there's a missing syllable. Oh, well. Are you guys ready for your next comedian and also the co-host of Camp Wanderlust? You guys ready? Yeah. Keep that energy going for Drew Epster, everybody.
Spencer Salins, everyone. How's it going, guys? Good. Spencer really doesn't know the difference between a contest and a bribe, huh? Here's a contest. I'll pay someone if they do something I like. How you guys doing? Good? Cool. Yeah, I sit on the stool when I'm trying to connect with the crowd. This feels more natural, doesn't it? Feels like I'm just a storyteller in his natural element. My story is about when I was in the 5th grade. I started going through like a small identity crisis that almost got me in some trouble. Remember when you were a kid and like you would like decide that you wanted to change the way people perceived you at school? Did anyone else ever have that like pressure of like, I want to be someone new, you know? And I remember going through that when I was in the 5th grade, and my idea was I wanted to become a smart kid. You know, I was kind of a dumb kid in school, you know? And I was like, I'm going to become a smart kid. So I was like, I got to start reading books. But the problem is I hated books because they were never about anything I liked. And I was like, okay, I'll start reading comic books. I was like, this seems like a foolproof plan, but I didn't know where to get comic books at. So I made my dad's girlfriend, Janine, take me to the library so I could go get a comic book. And we get to the library. She takes me to the library. And I walk straight to the young adult section of the library, and the first rack is comic books. I don't even look at the book. I just grab something. And I walk back to Janine. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here, Janine. And she's like, let me look. And this is what you got to know about me and Janine. We had a very complicated relationship. I don't know if your guys' dad ever had a girlfriend, but it's just straight conflict. It's the most toxic relationship possible. I was an angsty, little kid, and she was like a borderline drunk, so it was like real, just there's a lot of gas in that relationship, It was very explosive. So Janine, I walk up with the book to Janine, and rightfully so, she's like, let me look inside this, And I'm like, Janine, come on, like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, stop breaking my balls over this, And so I'm like, I'm giving her some pushback, and she's like, I don't want to fight this. So she's like, okay, lets me check out with the book. And I get home, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, this is like a Japanese comic book. This is like this. The kids at school are going to be like, how does Drew even know how to read this stuff? They're going to think I'm the smartest kid in school. And I get home, and the first 15 pages are just nothing but Japanese. I'm like, oh, damn it, dude. This is a huge mistake. They're never going to believe me. And anyway, I slide it in my backpack, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take it to school, and it's all going to be good. So I get to school the next day, and I start reading it in the morning so I can, like, try to pretend. I'm like, maybe if I look at the pictures, I can pick up on what's going on, so people can ask, someone's going to ask, what's this book about? And I'm going to have to make some shit up, So I'm going through it, and I get about like 20, 25 pages, and I hit like 30 pages, and the rest of the book is nothing but titties. It is just nothing but Japanese porn. It is the most graphic novel of all graphic novels. I mean, this thing is fucking just disgusting. Like, if you saw a fifth grader with this, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening at home? And if I could go back in time, in that moment, I would have put a hand on little me's shoulder, and I said, you slide that back in your backpack. You take that home. You don't tell anybody about this, and you have a great time with that. But if I'm not a goddamn man of the people, I showed every kid with eyes that porn that day. I showed literally anyone who would look at it, those hentai titties, all day. I went to a K through 8 Waldorf school. Does anyone know what Waldorf schools are? Yeah, I went to, if you don't know what a Waldorf school is, it's where hippies send their kids. None of these kids had ever seen titties before, ever. Anything they'd ever seen with mild nudity was like some sculpture of Mother Earth, like these are dork kids that smell like patchouli oil. I'm scarring them for life. And, I was the man, dude. Everyone was just coming up and talking to me all day. I was as popular could be. And I come back from lunch, and this kid in my class named Anthony B, Anthony B was like a bully, but not in like an intimidating way. He was just like a pest, Did you ever grow up with those kids where they were like, they'd like push you, but like you weren't even mad about it. You were just like annoyed that you couldn't just be like, he was like the biggest kid. He wore like oversized white t-shirts, and he would like, in dodgeball, he would get the ball and hold on to it, so he was the last guy remaining. He was just like a dickhead kid. Anyway, Anthony B comes up to me after lunch, and he's like, hey, let me see the ladies again. And I'm like, that's a weird way to talk about it. Even I brought porn to school, and even though I know that's a little creepy what you just did there. And so I just tell Anthony, I'm like, no, man, like, it's the block's a little too hot right now. I don't know if you know, but everyone at school knows I have porn right now, so I'm probably not going to pull it out in class. And Anthony B says, if you don't show me the porn, I'm going to go tell Mr. Bennett that you have that at school. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to ruin this for everybody. And so I just ignore him. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man, whatever. And, dude, he called my bluff. He walked right up to the fucking teacher and told him, he's like, Drew's got porn in the back of the class. Mr. Bennett comes up to me, and he's like, let me see your backpack. And sure enough, he sees what I see. He sees 29 pages of Japanese anime and then just titties, 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 titties as far as the eye can see. And this is like a couple years after Megan's Law became a thing. And I know nothing, dude. I just think that like I got to register now. My dad's going to get fired probably. I don't know what happens. So I go up to the principal's office, and they make every attempt they can to get a hold of my dad, but he's in a work meeting. And so who comes fucking marching in that office, man? It's fucking Janine. And now let's recap real quick. This is what Janine knows about this situation. I, out of nowhere, am suddenly into comic books. I forced Janine to take me to the Sacramento Public Library, where I walk up to a shelf, grab the first book, take it up to her and say, let's go. She has to see inside. I tell her to go fuck herself. Janine has no reason to be on my side at this point. And she comes into the office and she goes, I want you to be honest with me. Did you know that that was, porn? And I said, Janine, if you don't shut the fuck up about this goddamn comic book, leave me alone, Janine. She goes into the principal's office and she comes out and she goes, I got you off the hook. Let's go. And we get in the car to go home. And on the car ride there, she's like, I went in and I told the principal the truth, that I was the chaperone. I should have checked this out for you. I should have made sure that this book was appropriate, and it was my fault. And that was a very cool thing that Janine did that day. I don't have very fond memories of her, but that is one that has stuck with me forever. You guys want to know what happened to Anthony B? All right, Anthony B. After we graduated, Anthony B. Went to a different high school than I did. And then, through the grapevine, I found out that Anthony B. kind of got involved with some bad people. And then one day when I was like 21 years old, I get a text message from an old friend that's a KCRA link. And there was a shooting in the Home Depot parking lot on Florin Boulevard. And Anthony was one of the victims of the shooting. He died. And I was reading the article on KCRA. And at the bottom it said, sheriffs are still searching for a motive in the homicide. And any tips are appreciated. And it took me fighting every urge in my body to not email the sheriffs and go, Anthony was a snitch ever since the 5th grade. And it wouldn't surprise me if this is somehow involved. You guys have been a lot of fun. My name's Drew Absher. Have a good rest of the evening. Take it easy. Good night.
Drew Absher, everybody. Give it up. Yes. Okay, a little bit of a side real quick. Okay, my father one time found a pornographic film that was bought for me, and he has a very thick English accent, and so when he read the title, it was Fat Asian Beaver. Anyway, I'm sorry. That just came to my mind right now, and that whole story just brought up a whole flurry of emotions. All right, we're getting settled up here. I like this. No, we're getting settled. We're coming up to the front. All right, I'm glad. Hell fucking yes, you're coming to the front. You know why? Because one of the hottest young comics in Sacramento right now is about to come to the stage. Give it up for Graciela Hamilton, everybody.
Yay, everybody came up here to see my face. Good, because I did my makeup really good today. Now you can see it. Oh, thank you. Okay, hi guys. How are we doing? Yes! All right, well, my name's Graciela, and a fun fact about me is that I go on so many bad dates. Like, so many bad dates. There's so many that I can list. Like, I got in a car accident on a date once, and I dated a felon on accident once. But we're not talking about that story tonight. No, we are talking about the Tinder date story. This is a famous story that I always tell. So anybody, I think the answer is no. But does anybody in here use Tinder? Aw, that's cute. Did you find her on Tinder? Oh, fuck Bumble. Fuck that. I guess Bumble's where you find love. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Tinder. But like, I feel like at some point they should have like a loyalty rewards program. Yeah. See? Yeah. Like, it should be like, if you go on 9 hookups, on the 10th you will finish. No. Or for men, it should be like, if you match with 9 people, the 10th might respond. They might respond to you. So, they're probably not. You've been on Tinder. They don't respond ever. But no, so like, if you've ever been on Tinder, there's this thing called like a desperation night. That's what I call it. It's called desperation night because it's the night where you'll fuck anything or anyone, like, no matter how ugly they are on the inside or out. So I was having one of these desperation nights, and I was like swiping right on everybody that I saw. I was just so desperate. Did you say sweepstakes? stage with me, sir. No. No, I've been right on everybody that I could find. And I matched with the man of my dreams, and I, guys, shut up. He's the man of my dreams. Thank you. He's the man of my dreams, and I don't remember his name, but that's okay. That's okay. Never remember our dreams. Exactly. Who cares about our dreams? Okay. This is my dream. But I matched with this guy. I think his name is Antonio. And to describe him, he was so ugly. He was so ugly. It was so ugly. He had like really long, greasy brown hair. Not like yours. Not like yours. Oh no, I just offended somebody. Not like yours, dude. It was bad. Yours is like long and luscious and gorgeous. His was bad. Okay, and he was like really, really like super tall. How tall are you? I'm sorry. Okay, good. He was like 6'1". Okay, so we're not describing that guy anymore. Okay. So he was like super tall and like super skinny, and he looked kind of malnourished, and that is my type, you know? I go for the skinny and scrawnies. I love them. So that's what they do. So I match with this guy, and I'm like, and like he texts me first because I don't text men first because feminism, but like he empowerment or something, I don't know. So he texts me first and he says, "Hey, what's up?" So I'm like, okay, I have to text him back something that is like so like it'll grab him, it'll get him in, it'll get him engaged. And I say, "You wanna fuck?" And it worked. It worked. He said okay. But then, oh my God, but then he sent a text, and it said, "But I can't tonight because I'm at work." Yeah, can we have some like sitcom reaction to that? But another text rolls in, and it says, "Wait a minute, are you down to fuck me at my job?" And I said, "Yeah." Of course. This lady is like 2 steps ahead of me. Okay. So he texts me the address, and like I like drive over. I drive over, and and he said that he was a security guard for an apartment complex. And so this is what I text him. He says, "I'm a security guard." And I text him these exact words. "Whoever you're securing tonight isn't going to be secured because you're going to be too busy securing that pussy." And I said pussy, not pussy, pussy. But that was the goal of the night. Secure the pussy, STP. That's the acronym we're using. Everybody say STP for me, STP. Yeah, this is not a comedy show anywhere. This is a TED Talk. Say it with me. STP, yes. There we go. Unity. Okay. So STP. So I get there, and he's like, let me let you in through the back door. And I was like, oh my God, save the dirty talk for later. Yeah. Come on, put it right there. So he brings me like into this apartment complex, and it's like a really, really creepy dark room. And he immediately starts making out with me using only his tongue. Only his tongue. That lady just did it perfectly. She went. It would just imagine that like on my face though. Okay, so he was like making out with me using his tongue. Things are getting hot. Things are getting heavy, right? Things are getting a little, we're getting to the moment. And he's like, okay, let's move this to one of the rooms, let's move this to one of the rooms. I think all the people, like the residents, are asleep by now. And then I looked at the clock, and the clock was, it said 8 p.m. And I was like, the residents go to sleep at 8 p.m.? And he was like, well, yeah, we usually put the patients to sleep about 7. And I was like, well, why did you say patients? And he said, I didn't tell you. I do security for a hospice care home. So do you want me to secure the pussy in one of the beds or the kitchen? Is what he said. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I had to choose between a bed, which somebody probably died in earlier. Just saying. Sorry, too dark? Ooh. But I had to choose between the bed and the kitchen. Sorry. But I'm just saying, like, if I chose the bed, I would have probably been haunted for like 10 years or something. Like, some old lady would come and haunt me. So I decided to not allow him to secure the pussy that night. In the bed. Oh, we fucked in the kitchen of a hospice care home. I wish this story wasn't true. And I wish we weren't streaming right now. Because this is like a lawsuit right here. It could be. Wait, could I get sued? Probably. It was either Anthony, Antonio, or Andrew. They know who I fucked. All right. Well, if Anthony B, if you're out there, you suck at fucking... and go fucking somebody else's bed. I don't know. But anyways, that's my story. Thank you guys so much. My name is Graciela. You guys were a great crowd.
Graciela, everybody. Yes. STP. 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 It's a bad time to mention that this comedy show is brought to you by Eschaton Hospice Care. No, just kidding. Just kidding. It's the other one whose name I forget. Anyway, as I digress. All right. Are you guys ready for one? Okay, your next comic is one of my very good friends. He's been on my podcast multiple times. He also does another show here called Willie Listen. Well, y'all about to listen to Willie Travis.
Did it get darker in here? What? I knew the black joke would get you guys. This is great, man. Oh, you guys are in here. This is nice. Yes. Yes. Very high. Hold on. Yeah, man. It's all gone, brother. It's all gone. There's no for you. This is cool, man. A little public service announcement before I start my story. Y'all, I am a covert stutterer. And what that means is that I stutter big time. I'm in the major leagues, rest assured. But it means that you can't hardly tell that I stutter, right? I strategically, you almost caught it right there. I strategically place my words, my vowels, my consonants, all right? And not too many people know how to talk to people who stutter. And I get that, you know, because I can stutter on my name sometimes. Willie, like, you know, I do the little rev up, the woo woo. You know, I'm talking about the little woo woo. Woo woo. Willie is my name. Some people turn into Foghorn Leghorn when you try to, right? It's like, your name, son, your name. I asked you your name. He's a good kid. I say good kid. He's about as bright as a broken light bulb in a closed dumpster. So, but I stutter. I stutter, man. So FYI, because, you know, this story is, you know, just kind of coming freely to you guys here, man. You guys look like a crowd that loves acid. You guys look like you do it all the time. I have a little acid story for you, as well as the most craziest woman I've ever dated. Just crazy. Give it up for Plenty of Fish, man. Yeah, it's terrible ideas. No, yeah, man. I'm from Mississippi. Yeah, you from the South, brother? Texas? All right, next door. Which part? I'm just curious. Okay. You are pretty much where all of the chopped and screwed rappers are from. So that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, man. So you know, I go back home to Mississippi every now and then. If you don't know where Mississippi is, it's about 200 years that away. Yeah. You need to be reminded where it is. But yeah, that's where it is, man. And you know, I met this really awesome chick on POF, and you know, it was very dope. We had so much in common. Our first date, we went to a pet shop, and you know, I mean, it sounds weird, and it was weird. You know, especially when she was trying on every single snake. That's probably a red flag, huh? Right? Right? I mean, she had all the good red flags, though, man. Like, you know, all the ones that you know, her car was a mess, worse than mine's. It's like, okay, I could deal with this. What is that? What is this? I was delighted at the time. All right. And then we did more stuff, right? We would go gamble, and she was like a gambleaholic. I found that out. All right. But the sex was great. So I stuck with it. All right. Eventually, she found out where I lived. All right. I went so long without her knowing. All right. But, you know, it was bound to happen. You know, we had been, you know, talking for like maybe 6 months. This was like about 10 years ago before I had moved out here. I moved back to Mississippi, you know, back in with my mom for a little bit, and got a little job at Lowe's, you know what I mean, selling bootleg porn. I had to do what I had to do to keep up, man. And, you know, she eventually found out where I lived, and at the time I was living with my brother and my mom, you know, back in Moss Point, Mississippi. It's actually a very, very small town. We were actually ranked third worst city in the entire state. Yeah, I don't, why? No, I appreciate it, you know, because that's the extent of my street cred, right? I know what it looks like. I'm up here, the way I talk and dress. I know I look like I was the first one to go off and trust white people. I know what it looks like. But this crazy woman, she was, one day, this was like, I don't know, like a day after we had just hung out at her place for like, I don't know, maybe the 5th time. We, you know, we had sex. Mm-hmm. And, and you know, that next day, you know, I went home that morning, got home, I took a nap, you know, probably like midday, around noonish, right? Good nap time. I wake up from my nap, and this woman is staring at me in my bed. Just, you know, she lived like 60 miles away from me. How'd you get in my room, into my bed? My little brother let her in. He didn't know. And so, you know, I wake up to this woman in my bed. Oh, God! You know, I didn't. Terrifying. It's horrifying. And then we had sex. I'm not proud. One of our last times we hung out, we did acid for the first time together. And, you know, that was eye-opening. It was third eye-opening. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, man, we did the acid, and you know, we did it at her place. She lives in Mobile, Alabama. All right, even more racist than where I'm from. It's crazy. Right. If you dare. So, we're in Mobile. I'm at her place, and, we're chilling. She has the acid, right? I brought, like, the weed chocolate. We're like, all right, let's get lit. Let's do this. We popped some weed chocolate, right? I had never taken acid before. Never, ever taken acid. I took 4 tabs of acid. 4 tabs of acid was my very first time of acid. I knew we had a lot of acid heads in here. I knew it's a very lot. Very, very. I did die that night. I very much so died. No, that was a very, very weird night. So much that was going on that night. A lot of things were permeating. Like, have you ever just seen something glow in real life? Like, that it shouldn't be glowing? It was all bad. We were watching TV. The TV just kind of slid, like, how like an ice cube comes out of an ice tray? Just bloop and fell to the floor. I'm like watching like the TV from like all angles. This is cool. It's acid, man. It's crazy. I thought I was gonna die that night because she fucked with me. She made a call to her uncles, and I very much thought that night that I was coming to get got in Mobile, Alabama. Right? I thought I was gonna die on acid, on like some real, like, get 'em boy type, type stuff. No. There's your punchline. Hey, thank you guys so much. Give it up for your host, Spencer. Thanks for having me.
Willie Travis, everybody. He's sandbagging us. Holding the details, holding the bag. Kept some details from us, didn't he? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for your headliner? I said, are you guys ready for your headliner? Yes! Give it up for Johnny Taylor, everybody!
So this looks like the end of jury selection. Someone's reading a beach novel back there. I'm Johnny. Here's the thing. Give it up for everybody who's seen. I haven't done stand-up here in 2 years. It's so weird to be back. Thanks. Give it up for everybody who's seen. Here's the thing. At some point during one of their stories, during one of their sets, you might have thought to yourself, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to be a stand-up comedian. And I want to tell you can. Anybody can do it. Get 5 minutes together. Go to an open mic. Don't get discouraged if it goes poorly the first time. Just keep getting up as much as you can. Really dedicate a large portion of your time and your energy into really chasing your dreams. And if you do that, she's going to leave you. So prep. She's the fuck out. So I like to get married a lot. 3 up, 3 down. Retired the side. I like a good party. After my most recent divorce, I went on a date with a girl, went to coffee. Thought that was a good first date because you can talk to the person. There's not a lot of distractions, And so we go to the cafe, sit down. First thing she says blows my fucking mind. She sits down and she says, it feels really good to be out. Right. I'm like, where the fuck were you? Like, just doing time? What the fuck's going on? She says, no, it feels good to be on a date. And I was like, oh yeah, it feels good for me too. And she says, well, I went through a rough stretch recently. I was like, okay, well, maybe explain, And she says, well, I was drinking quite a bit. And one thing led to another. I ended up doing crystal meth with my son. I know. It's like, whoa. That's disgusting. You have a kid? Gross. Should have swiped left. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. I'll get into this story. It was the last cool thing I did before the pandemic started. I went to a music festival. I went to a festival called City of Trees. Anybody go to that? Yeah, cool. There's more people there, but it's cool. This place is small. So I went to City of Trees. I didn't mean to go. I'm not trying to name drop or anything, but I'm really good friends with one of the bands that were performing. And they texted me and said, Johnny, we're in your town. I want you to bring a friend out and you can come out and we'll do all access. I was like, that sounds awesome. So we're on our way going. I bring a comic with me, a guy named Daniel. As we're driving to the venue, Daniel says, hey, Johnny, do you like the headliners? And I was like, I don't even know who they are. I didn't even check, He said, it's the band Incubus. And I was like, no. I don't like that band at all, actually. How disappointing for me. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, I was like, actually, I like that one part in that one song where the guy goes, I like that. He was like, oh, you like the song Drive? And I was like, no, not at all. I just like that part when he does that thing, So I started thinking about it. I'm like, hey, Daniel, how do you think that's going to sound tonight? He's kind of long in the tooth. Do you think he's going to be able to do it with the same vigor that he did 20 years ago when that song came out? And he's like, yeah, I think he's going to. He keeps himself fit, I'm like, we'll see, we're going to see tonight if he can pull it off, Proof's in the pudding. All I know is this. I no longer gave a shit about that festival. All I cared about was singing that one part of that one song live to see if he could pull it off. And I passed that along to my friend, too. He no longer gave a shit either. He became obsessed. And so now we're just going there singularly focused. I don't even care about my friend's band anymore. I'm like, get them the fuck off. I'm just here to see that one part, And so we get into the venue, right? Right as I walk in, the first guy I see, he's wearing it's like a middle-aged guy, and he's wearing an I Heart Incubus t-shirt. And I think to myself, I got to talk to this guy, So I go over and I'm like, hey, I was like, that part in that song where he goes, How do you think that's going to sound tonight? And he looks me right in my eyes and he goes, it's going to sound fucking awesome. I'm like, we'll see. I'm like, what makes you so sure? And he goes, I'm so sure because he ain't no bitch. All right. Again, we'll see. We're going to see. And so I sit through maybe what seems like 10 million shitty bands in a row in anticipation to see that part of that song, And so as I'm sitting through these bands, my friend's band go up, they do fine. The bass player, Zach, he texts me. He's like, Johnny, come to the side fence. I'll meet you there. Bring some friends with you. We're going to walk to the back, and we're going to watch Incubus live from the side of the stage, which excites me because now I'm going to see that part hella close, So I bring some friends, 8 or 9 friends. They come with me, and even the Incubus superfan kind of gloms onto my group, and I'm like, well, you ain't invited, bitch. But then part of me is like, it's going to make his life to see, let's let it be. So we go there, about 8 or 9 friends. We're walking by. I start talking to my friends in the band and their entourage, the friends I brought, and I start asking them about this part of the song, And every single person has an opinion. Some people are like, oh, yeah, I think he's going to do it great. Some people are like, oh, man, he's old. He's not going to be able to do it. All I know is that now I've infected like 50 people that are now only obsessed with singing this part of the song, And so we get back there, and the first song comes on. It's not it, but we don't stress out. We know that song's popular. It's going to be on later. Second song, third song, still not it. By the fourth and fifth song, we're all looking at each other like, they better do this fucking song. That's why we're here. You know what I mean? We've been called here to watch it. Seventh or eighth song comes on. Finally, the ninth song, first chord hits. It's that song Drive. Literally 50 of us stand up at the same time. We're like, it's fucking happening. Fucking excited, First verse comes on, not notable, actually pretty terrible. The chorus also pretty ugly, not good at all. Second verse, terrible again. But we know that at the end of that verse, is when he does that part of that song. So when the second verse starts, we all stand up again in unison. We walk, we're literally 50 of us, grown-ups, holding on to each other. We're literally all holding on to each other, leaning in as far as we can to watch this one part of the song, and then it gets to that part, and the guy goes like this, he goes, I've never been angrier in my life. That was my 9/11. I'll never forget what they did that night. I look over at the Incubus superfan. He just looks me right in the eyes and he goes, "What a bitch." I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying this whole time. All right. That's a good sign. I'm gonna do I have time to do one more? All right. I'll tell you. This might be relatable. I had to piss in a grocery store. I don't know if anybody's ever had that happen. Bad place to pee when it's desperate because you can't always find it right off the bat. You might have to ask somebody because there's never a sign that says restrooms, you know. And so I talked to this guy. I'm like, hey, where do I go to pee? And it's always the same thing. He's like, go through those double doors. And I'm like, am I allowed? Because like everybody going through there is wearing like a smock and a name tag and shit. And so I'm like, can I go? And he's like, yeah, you'll find it. I go back there, I never find it right off the bat. It's just like there's a person like spraying backstage produce that you didn't know exists. There's like a girl clocking in you're basically in their break room. And then there's like 3 doors, none of them say restroom, so you have to fucking ear hustle to try to hear restroom noises. So I hear a sink. So I'm like, oh, this must be the place. And I walk in the door. I don't know if anybody's had this experience. I walk in the door right as a guy's talking to himself in the bathroom mirror. I walk in right as the guy says this. He goes, that was really scary. The fuck did I just miss? Like 20 seconds prior, some shit went down in here. I'm coming in cold, you know what I mean? So I find myself rushing to the urinal, and subconsciously in my head, I realize I'm pissing as hard and as fast as I can because I don't want whatever he's scared of to get me. I'm just like, we don't have much time. It could still be in here. I go back into the grocery store because I had to shop still. And so first thing I notice is this little family. It's just this mom. She's got her kids sitting in the cart, and the kid's just staring up at her. The kid's the most well-spoken kid I've ever heard. The kid just goes, "Mother, I'm terribly hungry. May I please have some grapes?" And the mom looks at the kid and just goes, "Nope." And then she shoves like 7 grapes in her own mouth. I'm like, wow, what an insufferable bitch. Like, why would you be like that? And so a couple aisles over, like 5 minutes later, they're walking this way as I'm walking this way. And the kids now got this hint of desperation in their voice. The kid's like, "Mother, I'm famished. Please, Mother, share some grapes. Please. I'm ravenous. Please." And then the mom just goes, "Nuh-uh." And then she eats like 7 more grapes. I'm like, who hurt you? Like, why are you like this? And so as fate would have it, I end up directly behind them in the checkout line. And then the kid's like crying now. The kid's like, "Mom, please give me some grapes." And then the mom's like throwing grapes in the air and catching it in her mouth, just fucking taunting the kid at this point. And then the mom is like, "Oh, I forgot something." And she runs back into the grocery store to get something. So I turn to this kid and I'm like, "Hey, here's your chance, you know? Eat some grapes." And the kid looks up and the kid's like, "Sir, if I eat these grapes, my mother will be terribly upset with me." And so I just look around. I don't see anybody coming. So I just grab some grapes off the bunch, and I just start feeding it to the kid from my hand. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a kid have an allergic reaction to eating grapes before. But it happens way faster than you think it's going to. Some of you guys look horrified. I have to tell you, the kid's fine. The kid's fine. The kid's all right. I mean, I hope. I dropped my shit and I ran out of the store. Through the parking lot, across the street, into a different grocery store, where I just found myself in the restroom and I was like, that was really scary. Right as somebody walked in, I'm like, fuck, I'm that guy now. This is like Inception. Hey, you guys have been fantastic. Bring Spencer back.
Johnny Taylor, everybody. Johnny Taylor. Hell yes. That was my son. Anyway, oh well. He died. Anyway, hey, thank you for coming out to Camp Wanderlust, everybody. Yes, I love you. We're here first Fridays, 9 p.m. every month. Hopefully you'll join us next month. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Signing up.
Thank you for coming out. That is our program for the night. Join us tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We've got streaming improv, regular exclusive blend. 9 o'clock in person. It's the Mix Fits short form improv. It's improv tomorrow. Come check us out. Now for the online audience. Hi, guys. We're going to send you guys over to Mr. X 313. Check him out, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Hold on for the raid.